House Bill 2074 makes several modifications to the school safety program. The bill expands the program to support the costs of placing school safety officers, who are school resource officers working in an off-duty capacity. It also expands the definition of SRO to include retired peace officers who are assigned to participate in the program by a local law enforcement agency. The bill also establishes an emergency response plan and school safety requirement for schools that receive program monies. A school district or charter school must develop an emergency response plan for each school site. Furthermore, a school district or charter school must contract with a provider to conduct a school safety assessment. And finally, the bill exempts school building blueprints and floor plans from public records. The amendment in Representative Fink's name requires the school safety assessments to be conducted every 5 years.
As a charter school, after Sandy Hook, we did an assessment. It took a while to find someone who was qualified, and it was expensive. And as it went through the process, we did have to budget money and also procure money to be able to make the necessary changes to the facilities to be in compliance with those recommendations. And 5 years gives the opportunity for the schools to take it, the recommendation, and also budgetary-wise to be able to include that if there's changes that need to be made.
The Gress Amendment, what it does is ensures that students with disabilities are accounted for in the Emergency Operations Plan. So this bill came about as a result of ADE's School Safety Task Force that Superintendent Horn convened. There were 26 people on this task force. This bill expands who can serve in an SRO capacity. It provides flexibility to school districts and charter schools if they receive an SRO grant or a school counselor grant or a social work grant and they can't hire the person, then let's let them use this money to keep schools and kids safe by enhancing physical security, locks, cameras, fences. We don't want this money sitting in a school or in our state's bank account. We want this money going out and protecting kids. The other item I would just note, and I want to give a shout out to former Representative Laura Tarrick, her blueprints bill. We included this in the package. Nobody needs access to school blueprints as a public record. This is a highly sensitive document, and I think it is warranted the protection that this bill seeks to give it.
The distinction, the way this bill is written, is that the SSOs, the school safety officers, are full authority peace officers in the state of Arizona. So if you look at it this way, I spent 7 years of my career working nights when my kids were young. In this case, it's an officer who most likely is working nights or has weekdays off, that during that time now goes and works in the school wearing the same uniform that he or she wears in their job with that same authority as a peace officer.
Have you considered expanding the program to include greater student mental health supports as a preventative measure against school violence?
Representative Simacek, I wanted to keep the bill tightly tailored. I think one thing we've heard is the SSOs. There's already a program in place to allow SSOs to be used in a limited capacity. This would afford us to open up that opportunity for unfilled SRO positions to be filled by SSOs. As far as expanding the types of positions, such as school psychologists, which was suggested last year, I think that should be taken up as a separate bill. This is really tailored to what the task force worked on in 2023.
My name is Darcy Mentone from the Vail School District down in southern Arizona. I am excited today to speak in support of this bill, specifically around the school safety officer piece. Many years ago, when these funds first became available through the Department of Education under Governor Ducey, the Vail School District applied. We were recipients of many counselor grants and also 3 SRO grants. Our school district is half in the jurisdiction of Tucson Police Department, half is in the jurisdiction of Pima County Sheriff's Department. We worked with both agencies, and because of their own staffing issues, they were unable to provide us with school resource officers. So we have not been able to use that grant funding, and I am really thrilled that we are expanding the applicant pool by allowing retired police officers to come back and serve their schools in that capacity. We, like many others, have had in the last few months a number of issues that it would have been a game changer for us if we had an SRO on campus. Often our wait is half an hour to get a police presence because some of our schools are so rural. Other times we wait an entire day and they're only able to respond after the kids have been released, which leaves us handling a number of issues ourselves.
My name is Nancy Martinez. I'm a proud mom to a 16-year-old son with a disability. I'm one of the co-founders of Mesa Special Education Alliance. I'm also a civilian with Chandler PD, and I've had the honor of teaching classes on intellectual and developmental disabilities for the past 11 years throughout the state. Mr. Chairman, thank you for including critical language in HB 2074 that will help support and protect our students with disabilities. My work with law enforcement throughout Arizona is very rewarding. We all know the saying, we don't know what we don't know. I see firsthand the kinds of information that officers want and need to better serve their communities safely and effectively. In one instance, parents of children who had significant mobility needs had raised the concern that there were not enough staff to be able to move kids out in wheelchairs and get all the students out safely. After receiving no resolution, no answers from the school, parents ultimately raised money themselves to bring in rolling strollers. Another example that we heard was a teacher who shared they were told to carry high school students down 2 flights of stairs when elevators were inoperable, and we really had to push for striker chairs to be made available. So we're very grateful for this bill. We must shift to implementation. We need to ensure all safety personnel on campuses are trained to work with students with disabilities, and there needs to be accountability. I look forward to contributing to this effort, and again, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this sponsorship.
Members, the motion before you is that House Bill 2074, as amended, be returned with a due pass recommendation. The Secretary will call the roll.
Representative Abetia.
Nay.
Representative Biasucci.
Aye.
Representative Fink.
Aye.
Representative Garcia.
Nay.
Representative Gutierrez.
I really, truly believe that there is so much money in this fund, and it should be going to prevent violence instead of react to it. We should be able to use, schools should be able to use this money equally for more school counselors and prevent rather than just have these programs that only they let the violence or situations happen before it's addressed. So until we see that language in this bill, I am a no.
Representative Hernandez.
This is like an moment for me because I recently participated in a few community meetings with the police department and our community members, and our community members were very clear, Maryville being what it is, and also in Glendale, how important it was for them to feel safe. I also realized that we also need and are lacking resources and an opportunity to be able to use monies where we truly need them at this moment would be great. Because I do support the SRO officers on campus, today I will be voting yes.
Representative Marshall.
Aye.
Representative Olson.
Aye.
Representative Pena.
Aye.
Representative Simacek.
I think there is plenty of funding to take into account taking care of the mental health and preventing these issues before they come about. I also believe that the blueprint bill should be listed as a separate bill. I'm a no.
Vice Chairman Taylor.
Aye.
Chairman Gress.
Well, just to respond to a couple of comments, nothing in this bill is taking away funding for school counselors or social workers. This bill doesn't address that at all. That's part of the existing program. Right now, we have millions of dollars. As of last year, we had $33 million sitting there that had been allocated to schools, awarded for either SROs, school counselors, or social workers, going unspent. That money is just sitting there. All this bill does is says, you can use that money to improve the physical security of your school. Doors, locks, fences. And we expand the definition of SRO to include SSOs. If there are alternate definitions for school counselors and social workers, come talk to me about them. You know, let's take a look at what that entails and what implications that might have. But this is about implementing task force recommendations and ensuring that money is not sitting in these bank accounts. It's doing no service to the students or the staff or faculty. That's what this is about. So I think that's really important to note. Schools must be places where all students, teachers, and staff feel safe. This bill is a product of collaboration between educators, certified mental health professionals, law enforcement, legislators, and Superintendent Tom Horn to implement meaningful, common-sense school safety enhancements. As parents send their kids to school, they have every right to expect they will come home safely, and this legislation will further that goal. With that, I vote aye. 8 ayes, 4 noes. You have given House Bill 2074 as amended a due pass recommendation.